2, 1.
Good morning, everyone. It's Monday. Can we believe it? I hope everyone had a great weekend. Thanks for being with us on KSAT News Now, our bite-sized digital newscast.
Yes. You can stream this on any platform, Facebook and YouTube Live. And we also have a daily podcast that you could check out as well. Just subscribe anywhere that you get your podcasts. And I wrote in there a little note there, that
what is
gif
this about?
from that old woman Rose in Titanic, where it's been like, it's been 84 years. Since we're at full strength. So Alicia's back.
Oh, I read that note and I was like, why are we talking about the Titanic? Like, was there a discovery?
No.
The discovery is that
movie,
I'm back.
yes.
I'm back, feeling better.
Yeah.
I have to have a cough drop in my mouth right now. So
okay, all right.
If you hear any swishing around, that's why.
That's your cough drop.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, glad to have you back, Alicia.
Thank you. I'm happy to be back, kind of getting in the groove of things. But we have a lot to cover today.
We do, including what you need to know about tax season that's starting today.
Adulting.
Yes.
That's the one.
And this is a pretty cool story here. San Antonio Bakery that's been through a lot finally opens its first brick-and-mortar location. Customers lined up outside the doors to get those goods.
Plus, we have stick figure sports, which I've missed after a wild sports weekend, to say the least, and weather with the one and only Justin Horn. But first,
yes, I saw Justin cooking up some stuff for us in the weather department. So it's always a fun forecast when Justin's here.
And we look forward to that. But we'll start with some sad news here. It's a tough weekend for Houston as they mourn the loss of 2 law enforcement officers. The latest death is of Harris County Sheriff's Office Sergeant Ramon Gutierrez. He was hit and killed overnight while directing traffic.
A suspected drunk driver is under arrest this morning in this case. Police say the accident happened around 12:30 a.m. while Sergeant Gutierrez was escorting a heavy load and directing traffic. He was on his motorcycle on the access road blocking an exit ramp when a woman struck him.
You always want to be really careful when you see those officers, but this is just so tragic. That woman unfortunately took off, but she was later arrested, and now she faces charges of intoxication assault on a peace officer, but we do know additional charges are pending, and that's according to authorities in Harris County.
That's right, Alicia. Gutierrez was flown to a hospital where he later died, and you see other officers there standing there. We have learned since that he was a 20-year veteran and worked in the Sheriff's Office Vehicle Crimes Division for 13 of those years.
Early Sunday, Harris County Sheriff's Office Corporal Charles Galloway was shot multiple times and killed while conducting a traffic stop. So again, this is just a really tough weekend for law enforcement, specifically there in the Houston area.
Absolutely. And then this story happened on Saturday. This is right here that you're watching. Special Agent Anthony Salas, he's with Texas DPS, who also passed away over the weekend. Officials say Salas was involved in a traffic crash during the arrest of 6 undocumented immigrants.
That crash happened near Eagle Pass while the special agent worked with U.S. Border Patrol board TAC. Salas was eventually airlifted to University Hospital here in San Antonio and later died from his injuries again Saturday morning, surrounded by his family.
Oh, it's so sad here. The undocumented immigrants involved suffered minor injuries and are now in custody of the U.S. Border Patrol. But
so we know with law enforcement, always such a dangerous job. In the case of the latest Sheriff's Office deputy who was killed overnight, on the highway doing his job, trying to prevent something like this from happening, guiding this heavy load, and unfortunately being struck on his motorcycle by a suspected drunk driver. So
and
that's
unfortunately,
the worst.
Yeah, it is. And unfortunately, you see this a lot. And then, people are off to the side of the road. Maybe people aren't paying attention. Obviously, in that first case, the woman is allegedly was driving while intoxicated. But Officer Salas' case, another example of sort of the risks that these law enforcement officials put themselves through. And our prayers are with both those families today. Very tough weekend.
All three families. A tough weekend. Well, this week the federal government is rolling out what is set to be the largest distribution of free masks since the pandemic began.
Oh yeah, the 400 million N95 masks will be available for free. U.S. residents will be able to pick them up at pharmacies and community health centers across the country.
Well, this comes after federal officials say that N95 masks offer better protection against the Omicron variant in comparison to the cloth face coverings, which you still see a lot of people wearing.
Yeah.
Have you been able to get your hands on those?
I use N95. I've been using them for a while. I think the first time I flew during the pandemic is when I started to really use just the N95, and I've kind of stuck with them. They kind of like pinch your cheeks a little bit, but at least you know that you're pretty good there. I really have not used a cloth mask or one of the surgical masks for some time now. And
so I use the surgical,
okay,
and then I just toss it every day. And so I have a pack that I bought from Costco, but that's about it. I haven't been able, anywhere I go, you know, you're kind of on the lookout, but I haven't seen N95. So maybe with this rollout, it says that it's going to be available in clinics and public health. So I don't know how that rollout is going to play out.
It'll be interesting because, like you said, availability is always key when it comes to this thing. I know people are starting to get those COVID tests, also those in-home ones. So yeah, we'll see what happens here when it comes to masks.
All right, adulting here. I say adulting because, man, this is a tough one. I hear it and it's literally like eye roll. Ugh, do I have to? You have to do it, right? But
yeah, it's one of the
tax season. We're talking about tax season. It's officially here. Americans can officially start filing their individual income tax returns for 2021 today.
All right. The Internal Revenue Service, Alicia, is urging taxpayers to file as soon as possible this year because the agency is still dealing with a huge backlog of unprocessed returns.
Procrastinators, we're talking to you. The tax filing season will end on April 18th. That may seem like a long time, but it just sneaks up on you this year for most individuals, rather than the usual deadline of April 15th. So that's a, what, 3 day grace there?
Yeah, a little bit of time there.
And that's because yes, there you go. Emancipation Day will be observed in Washington, D.C. So that's the change there.
Right, and I thought it's because it was my birthday week that they were pushing that back. No, not the case.
No. The federal government does not revolve around you.
They should, though. No, just like actually, yeah, my birthday's always been on tax day. So sort of a weird.
So when is your birthday?
April 15th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
tax
so
day.
It's always people care.
Write it down, y'all. Send them some balloons.
There you go. The IRS has said that it will not extend the deadline this year beyond April 18th, like it did in the past 2 years of 2020, 2021, in order to help people who were struggling, of course, during the pandemic. So they're saying they're not going to extend it past. I know some people had filed in June or over the summer past couple of years. So keep that in mind.
Yeah. So don't bank on the extension. They're not doing that anymore. I guess we know what's coming. So.
Yes, and like you said, it's adulting and it's getting those W-2 forms and figuring out all the write-offs. I never know what I'm doing. I'm just yeah, that sounds about right. Don't come at me, IRS.
So that's why people usually hire someone. I mean, my sister is nice enough to understand and do that for me. So good. I'm still not adulting. Well, and the dream, okay, so this is a very cool one. We've been looking forward to this. We've been waiting. The dream of a storefront and sold out pan dulce finally came true this weekend for a local bakery, Alebrije.
Yeah, and so you did a story on them, right? A few weeks back, when they got into this incident. So kind of explain for people that maybe don't know the backstory here, what happened.
Yeah, well, let's listen in right now.
Yeah, and I think we have the soundbite there. Yes, so.
No soundbite. All right, so what we were explaining there. So their soft opening for Alebrije, they've been doing kind of pop-ups. So their soft opening was back in December 11th. Then comes the morning of December 12th. They're headed to the bakery, at 3 a.m., just very, very early. And they get hit. They get T-boned by a driver. So because of that, they suffered what authorities there on the scene said minor injuries, but you can imagine after being T-boned like that, and apparently the driver was going pretty fast, they were experiencing some difficulties, so they weren't able to meet the demand of baking bread. It's just this couple, just two of them, doing it all together.
Run the whole operation.
They put everything on hold, and it's just been kind of following up, hey, are y'all doing well? And really they've been updating their customers via social media. They had, I believe, a GoFundMe even, so a lot of people
just hours away from their grand opening, a local bakery's plan was halted after the owners were involved in a serious.
All right, so that appears to be the from your report, I believe, right, Alicia? Or this is earlier as they were trying to get this bakery open. So again, they've been going through this rough patch over the past couple of weeks, but over the weekend, got to finally open up their bakery here, Alebrije. I love that name, though, by the way, Alebrije. I love it. The spiritual animals, Day of the Dead animals. So pretty cool moment for them there.
Yeah, they're from Michoacan, and they're doing really well here in San Antonio. But they took to social media to, of course, celebrate. There you have video of the grand opening that they shared. The line was out the door, wrapped around that building there. So very good. I mean, they sold out within hours. And again, they just thank the community. And they do state there, this is all a dream, and it's only possible with the help and support of the community. So we're happy for them. Congratulations.
Awesome stuff.
Oh, well, there's our producer,
there's
Alyssa.
Producer Alyssa.
We usually try to be really sneaky.
And we're going to get ready
making
for
that
stick
exchange.
figure sports here coming up. And I believe Kevin's got a little
That's what
something
happens.
for
We're
us.
live. It's okay. Now we're going to
We
move
are,
out of
yes,
frame
moving out of the
so you
shot
can
here as we
see
get ready
stick figure
for
sports.
Stick figure sports. All right, here we go. Here we go. Getting ready. It was a crazy weekend.
It's a Monday.
Alicia.
It's
Yes,
a Monday.
it is definitely here for us.
I promise we're still here. There we go.
It was a crazy weekend for sports.
Okay, look, I'll be honest.
Yes.
I did not. I was still taking things kind of slow. I did not watch any games, any sports,
Yes.
but I love going to Instagram and just seeing reading the reactions.
Yeah. Yeah.
I heard it was wild, and now people are petitioning for overtime changes in the NFL.
There's some issues there with some of the overtime stuff. And again, I want to make a point real quick before we get to this. We have not done stick figure sports here on KSAT News Now because we know it's your favorite segment.
It is
ever.
my favorite. I think it's hilarious, and I heard that he finally stepped it up.
Yeah,
I
I did
actually
use the
see what
marker this time. All
Yeah.
right. So let's go ahead and start here. Spurs over the weekend. So they lost both games, but that wasn't really, to me, the highlight of the story. It was Patty Mills coming back into town.
Oh, that was cool. See,
Love
I saw
Patty.
that on Instagram.
Yeah, I love my guy Patty here. He had himself, it was an okay game, but I put sad Spurs fans because Spurs fans were a little torn up about Patty coming
Yeah.
back. Had himself a nice little game. Plus, he started the coffee club here in San Antonio. So, yeah. The
didn't know
coffee
that.
crew, the whole deal. Yeah, big coffee guy, big supporter of local coffee houses and local shopping in general. So
There's a coffee club.
there it is.
I'm not part of it.
Spurs lost both games, but we won't even worry about that. They're having a bad year.
So Max was at the game yesterday with his girlfriend,
right.
and I asked him, how was it? Did they win? He was like, no. But
Yeah.
guess it's worth it being at the arena.
Yeah, it looked like they didn't have bad seats, so that was good stuff there. And plus Max from Philly guy, yeah.
Oh,
Spurs
okay,
lost that
that's
game.
why.
Yeah,
That's why he was
it's like,
there.
Now it's all coming together. All right, let's go ahead and try and switch over to this next one because we were talking about the NFL. Boom, look at this. And I put on there the greatest football weekend ever.
It just says one ever, 4 exclamation points. Why ever?
Because all 4 games were amazing to watch. I mean, sorry, Cowboys fans, but your Cowboys
Yeah.
not in this thing. But
We know.
Kansas City
you don't need to
Buffalo.
remind us.
Kansas City Buffalo. That was like a heavyweight fight, so I drew these little stick men with like little boxing gloves, a little ring there. That was a great
Boxing
game.
gloves right here with you, RJ.
Yeah, that was a great game. So
Okay.
we had that matchup. And then Aaron Rodgers, Green Bay loses to
Oh,
San
yeah.
Francisco. Bye-bye, Aaron. We are ready to
Bye-bye.
see you leave Green Bay.
What was the bye-bye?
Bye-bye, Aaron, right there. Because you.
That's
and
the
your
Selena
weird-
wave.
And your weird toe, Aaron Rodgers.
Weird toe.
He's good.
I don't want to ask.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
and then?
that's a whole different story. And then Tom Brady loses.
Oh, the GOAT. Is
Yeah,
that the GOAT?
That is the GOAT. Yeah. That's a GOAT. That's a
That's a
GOAT.
goat.
That is
I
a
mean,
GOAT, Justin.
I only knew that because they call him the goat. Not that. Okay.
Yeah.
But Tom Brady, 8 Super Bowls. He
Yeah.
may have been calling it quits. So that is stick figure sports. We'll see if Tom Brady retires. He's 44. Can you believe that?
Did they win last year? Was it
They
them?
won last year. It was his 8th Super Bowl. Yes.
So now it's going to be between who and who?
So, the conference matchups. I believe we have a graphic for this coming up here. Look at that right there. Look, the Bengals versus the Chiefs.
Oh, I've always hated the uniforms for the Bengals. Ugh.
That's a
Sorry,
good analysis,
Justin.
actually. I really.
Why?
I totally agree.
Why'd
with
you make that face, Justin?
What's wrong with the Bengals?
Oh, they're, ugh. As we say in Spanish, guácatela. Ugh.
Well, okay, Spanish. Bengales contra los jefes de Kansas City.
Chiefs, would that be? Yeah.
They have Chiefs. All right, and then our second matchup here. I love that analysis. I've never liked the Bengals uniforms also. And then the 49ers versus the Rams. So we got West Coast showdown in LA.
Who are you going for?
Boom. You know what? I got Rams Chiefs. Rams Chiefs.
Rams
Super
and
Bowl.
the Chiefs.
Yeah, Super Bowl. Let's
I
do
would,
it.
not that in my opinion matters in the least bit, but I would like to see this San Francisco and then who
The
the
Bengals?
Chiefs? No,
Oh,
the
You
Chiefs.
don't want to see the Bengals.
Nah.
Be good. It'd be a rematch from 2
I
years
could-
ago.
no, thank you.
49ers Chiefs a couple years back. Right?
I remember that.
You remember that one,
Yeah.
yes.
I should remember the uniforms,
Yeah.
but
Hey, speaking of the GOAT, the legend in the making right
Ugh.
here.
Not in that territory yet. Not near as old as Tom Brady, okay? Just
Oh,
for the
yeah.
record.
Okay, well, that's true.
Just for the
clearing
record.
it up there.
We're going to have a sports themed weather
you
trivia
should
today
just-
because
Okay.
we're coming on the
She's
heels of sports. And I'm sorry about your Cowboys. Okay,
Yeah,
so it's
still.
not factoring in here. But let's talk about the coldest outdoor Super Bowl ever played. Okay, so we're not talking domes here. If you remember the Dallas year the
Yeah.
Super Bowl was in Dallas and it was like icing and all that. Okay, that's not in the mix. So we're just talking outdoors here. So here are your choices: New Orleans, Houston, Stanford, California, or East Rutherford, New Jersey.
All right, Alicia.
MetLife Stadium down there on the bottom.
So,
Ladies first.
I mean, I feel like the, oh, I don't know. I feel like sound like a broken record. I don't know. For time's sake, I'm gonna go with D.
Okay.
D. Okay.
What do you got, RJ?
Because that one's warmer. I don't know anything about Stanford.
Yeah, usually, okay, so East Coast City, right? Yeah, and usually in February, that is not the answer. I think I know the answer. I think it was Houston.
Tell us.
Houston.
H-Town, baby.
Okay.
Was it Houston?
You guys are both wrong.
Oh my God.
Oh, wow.
New Orleans. It was close.
What?
You were close.
Really?
Super Bowl VI, 1972.
Oh, it's because I wasn't even born
Tulane
then.
Stadium.
Well,
The
me
kickoff
neither.
temperature was 39. David Sears.
If David
probably-
was here, he would have gotten it. David?
He's not over there.
Oh, man. He would have known this.
Wow,
The Cowboys
throwing
beat the
Sears under
Dolphins.
the bus there.
Anyway.
Oh, it was a Cowboys. I was just listening, learning more about this game with a new podcast that the Texas Monthly has on the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders.
There you
And
go.
I believe this
sweet.
was the first Super Bowl where the cheerleaders were kind of taken seriously and like a big part of the game.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, very cool.
Very
They didn't
interesting.
get paid that,
I didn't know that.
during that game.
It was cold. It was cold. The
was
coldest
cold.
game, the coldest Super Bowl ever, if you're counting domes, I think was Minneapolis a couple years back, 2018.
Yeah, that was cold out there.
Snow.
The Atlanta one too. They had a freeze
Yes,
there.
they had an ice storm.
And then you're right about the Dallas one in
This is why they play it in
2010.
domes.
Yeah,
Was
that
the
a freeze.
Green Bay one really cold this weekend?
Yeah, it was like
Yes.
0 degrees
Yeah.
up
Yeah,
there.
that playoff game, that was snow
Saw
coming
that
down.
on Instagram.
It was a whole thing. It was cold. It looked awful. Debo Samuel, though, that guy's a player. Okay. Debo. Let's talk weather now. Okay, we've got these showers moving east. We had a little bit of wet weather here in San Antonio this morning. Did not do anything to help us with our drought. We needed more rain than we got. It was literally like a trace at the airport. That's it. So this rain is still working across our eastern counties, places like Kennedy, Yorktown, Cuero, Howattsville. You're still going to see rain for another couple of hours before this all finally moves out. Here in San Antonio, it's mainly just cloud cover at this hour. And you can see the clouds are still pretty thick here. It's going to take some time for our clearing line, which is way out here near Del Rio, to work its way all the way across the area. So I think it'll probably take until the afternoon for that to happen here in San Antonio. We're sitting at 50 degrees. That temperature has not moved much because of the cloud cover, but out in Del Rio where there's sun, 56 there. So you see the difference because of the clouds. Here's a look at the futurecast. That rain moves east, clearing line maybe around San Antonio 3 or 4 o'clock this afternoon, and then we all clear out tonight. Tomorrow morning, though, this is 7 a.m. tomorrow, fog builds in. Could be very thick in spots. Something to watch tomorrow morning if you are going to be heading out on that morning commute. And then that will clear out pretty quickly and we'll see some more sun tomorrow. As far as temperatures go today, I'd say mid-50s. If you're out west where there's more sun, 69 in Del Rio. Where you're out east where there's more clouds, 49 in Gonzales today. So wide range in temperatures just because of the cloud cover. Here in San Antonio specifically, we'll go mostly cloudy 2 p.m., partly cloudy 4 o'clock, 56, 50 at 6 o'clock, down to 47 at 8 p.m. The extended forecast, 65 tomorrow. We get a front coming through. Doesn't do a whole lot for our forecast. Does cool us down some. 54 Wednesday, 57 Thursday. Small chance of rain Thursday night into Friday, but not great. Still looking for some rain around here. It's been so dry. And temperatures are pretty comfortable. Pretty January-like, honestly, 50s and 60s all the way into the weekend, guys.
I was looking forward to the rain, and I do agree. It did nothing other than make the downstairs, the walk downstairs a little dangerous because it was just like
It literally was just a little bit of mist. We were hoping for more than that. This drought just keeps getting worse.
So this is is this an extended drought, or it's just kind of
It is,
lengthier
3 months.
drought, or where are we here?
Last I calculated, we've picked up only 2.5 inches since I want to say November or October maybe.
Yeah.
So it's been a stretch here. It's very La Nina-like. If you want to jump into all that, but I don't think we have time to go into all that today. We spent too long on
Next
sports.
time.
Yeah,
next time with Justin Hart.
RJ and his sports.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Someone commented saying OM Garcia said the GOAT, and I think they're referring to you, Justin. So I just want to say on Facebook Live.
Jeez, thanks.
Wish him the best. Probably not for Justin. But anyway.
I
Oh,
know,
come on.
that's so mean. Look at him. He's like, what the
Man,
heck?
yeah.
Well, thank you so much for tuning in, you guys. OM Garcia, thanks for your comment there. It definitely wasn't for Justin because you put a football emoji, but all right.
Yeah. So the podcast.
Yeah, very cool.
So we've had a couple hundred people so far download this and listen to it. So really appreciate that. You could get it on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, anywhere you get your podcast. And you said you were just listening to that Texas Monthly podcast.
Yes.
Any other podcasts that you're a fan of?
KSAT News Now. now.
Okay.
You get the news you need to know on the go.
There we go. Yeah. All right.
Podcasts make it easy.
They do.
Because you could be I usually will listen to podcasts when I'm blow drying my hair because I'll put my headphones in. So it gives me something to do.
There you go. Yeah. So make sure to check that out, download us. And again, we will see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Thank you very much for being with us on KSAT News Now. And welcome back, Alicia Barrera.
Thank you, RJ. We'll see you tomorrow at 11.